Yolo Podcast. It's not our official episode, Phil, because we did the Yolo Podcast last week, and that was our episode 1, introducing everyone to our new Yolo Rum studio and the whole setup. But for the first Yolo Rum podcast, when we were doing that, we had Eric Swanson on. And now for the Yolo Podcast, I think this is more of our official first interview Skype done on here. We have Eric with us again.
Welcome, Eric, and we're going to bring Eric on as a regular feature on the Yolo Podcast. We're fortunate that he's part of our Yolo Rum family. How you doing, man?
Good, great. Thanks for having me out, guys.
We should give people some background as to what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. So what is it that you actually do?
I'm a tour manager for two-time Grammy nominee SOJA. It's an American reggae band out of D.C., and we tour the country, bringing their vibes here and there. Basically, I handle all the logistics and day-to-day activities for the company, if you will.
Wait, so what does that entail day-to-day? Like, give us a normal day for you.
So a normal day would be to get up and make sure that the bus is parked where it needs to be and that my driver can go to sleep. He sleeps during the day while we work. So to make sure he's taken care of cash-wise and bed-wise. And then we will check in with the venue and see where the production is for the day. Make sure that we're on time for our load-in. We tour in a Prevost bus with a trailer. We're self-contained. So at any point in the morning, usually around 9 or 10 a.m., we will tip that trailer and unload everything and set it up. I kind of then begin the process of locating dressing rooms, showers, hospitality, catering, make sure everybody's fed, has a place to shower, chill. And then we put out fires throughout the day. I've got you up to noon at this point, so. Yeah,
so you've done a lot of stuff with Yolo Rum too, though. I mean, it's cool to see you on the road and just know that like someone who's done so much for us is like making such big waves out there. Because I mean, that's a phenomenal job and an awesome job.
No, it's amazing how much they went hand in hand, and Phil was obviously smart enough to kind of see that in the beginning. So we've been able to tie music and our amazing rum together many times over for some successes.
Yeah, Eric is the you're a guerrilla. You're quite the guerrilla marketer yourself. It's funny because a lot of our philosophies agree, and you always are nervous when you're organizing an event for us, and he's always telling us to throttle it down, and then we do what he wants to do, and it's like 10 times more than we were going to do. We're like, okay.
All right. And then Eric just said we could do this. Are you sure?
That's awesome. Thank you.
There's only been a few things we had to curb. For instance, sending Jim out dressed up as Uncle Sam with a T-shirt cannon. That was shut down. But other than that, we've gotten away with a lot of things.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't allow the T-shirt cannon inside Red Rocks. That's just bizarre to me. Shooting it into the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know the answer to that one, but that's an iconic place, and you kind of just mind your P's and Q's a little bit, you know. But we've had some.
It's almost like church. You have to respect.
Yeah, exactly. We've had some really good parties there.
You got to actually perform at Red Rocks, though, right?
I have performed with the band several times, but I have never performed at Red Rocks. The thing is, that's sort of a bucket list for even musicians like the band I work for. They have been around for 20 years. And even when they step foot on that stage every day, it's sort of like visiting the Mecca of dreams as a kid. So not many want to share the stage at that time. So, but they've brought me up in all over Europe, South Carolina, Chicago. They include me as much as they can, for sure.
And you have, when we talked to you for the Yolo Rum podcast, you had just released the single, All Right. Tell us a little bit about that and what's evolved to. I mean, we have the video, we'll play that, but tell us a little bit about that song.
So the song was created, it took quite a long time, almost a year and a half to make, because it features Daniel De La Cruz from Slightly Stoopid, Ken Brownell from SOJA, and Ted Bound from Pacifier, and getting all of those iconic people in one room to kind of put this vibe together took a while. That said, when we all put our efforts into it, we wanted to not really have it be about money and copyrights and this and that. So we decided that we would donate all of the proceeds from that song to cancer research, the American Cancer Society. We launched it on iTunes. I guess, forgive me, it seems 2 years now, but we've raised thousands for cancer research, which is amazing. And for this reason, people don't buy physical music anymore. A lot of this is monetized off of streams. So it may be 1 penny or 4 pennies per stream. So it takes a long time to get to those thousands of dollars, which just equates to how many people have supported the song. Then James Lathos came around, and he shot a Bad Brains documentary, the HR documentary, which you should go check out. He said, "Hey, man, pro bono, I want to shoot this video." He said, "Let's do it." And again, it took time to move mountains, and now there's actually a video. He went out and shot all these amazing sunsets. These are all his. This is not B-roll. This is where we live in Florida. So came out better than I could have ever expected.
Now maybe this gon' help to make you feel better. Maybe this gon' help to ease your mind. If you navigate this world consciously, you'll see this beautiful disaster in the line.
It's brought so Sugar Shack is a well-known video team out of Florida, and since the release of this, they've said, "Hey, if you got something else, we'd like to try something." So it's definitely made its own waves, and for me, it's the first thing I've really ever done of that caliber of a production, and also just to put Eric Swanson on it and not have a band name on it. You know what I mean?
Congratulations.
Thanks. Got some more coming out here soon. Went to release the next single, and I'm not at liberty to discuss, but another band will be using that song on their new album. So put me sort of in the songwriter zone. So we do have a new single called Daydream coming out that should be out hopefully in the next few months.
How did you transition from doing what you do now to actually getting into the music part of it?
In reality, I play music. I'm a musician. My mother was, my sister, my brothers, we were just raised musicians. But, the frustrating part as the internet kind of took over the music business and you were driving around in a van barely making ends meet, I realized that I needed to do something different. So I'm a graphic designer by trade. So I took a couple years off of the music business. And what I realized is that it is through and through in my blood. And whether I'm performing or sweeping the stage at a venue or running cables, I physically, spiritually, and emotionally have to be around it. So I opened the door. Instead of saying I'm just a guitar player, I opened it to what was needed at the time. And some friends of mine in a band called Slightly Stoopid were like, "Hey, are you interested in coming out with us?" And I started with them, filling coolers full of ice. And slowly they saw potential, Silverback management, they saw potential, and I slowly climbed the rungs of the ladder. And SOJA one time, a couple years ago now, was just like, "Hey, are you interested in this spot?" And I was like, "Let's try it." And here we are. And it's unique, this project, because they support my music by allowing me to play and record and give me advice, as well as be their tour manager and guide their careers. So it's a really special balance with these fellas.
That's awesome. That's the epitome of YOLO.
Absolutely, yeah. Eric lives it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and
wants to be Eric when they grow up. That's for sure.
No, the crazy thing is, Phil, is everyone kind of wants to be you, and the reason is a lot of people don't know about the original Clay Mushroom and your story, but I do, and our stories are so similar because you can go out and dig a hole. You can go to the local factory and get a pension and retirement, and you can do these things to sort of like secure a livelihood. But like, I feel like Phil and I had the same path. Like, we wanted to do what we loved. And Wiggins as well, you have made leaps and bounds. It's just like birds of a feather kind of flock together, and to make a life for yourself and do what it is you want to do is possible if you're willing to work for it. And that is true with Yolo Rum and with, my music business mixed up, the podcasts, all of your adventures in radio, Wiggins. I mean, all that stuff takes hard work. And I think we're all testimonial to that.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because literally Phil's been a great business mentor all around for Yolo and just my professional life. That's the crossroads I was in. And I would hear your story, Eric, and over, because we've talked about it in multiple podcasts or just in person. And I'd hear Phil's story, and it's like, when you do feel like you're in that factory, and there's nothing wrong with it, but once you acknowledge that you're in this bubble, and you see those being successful on the outside the bubble, enjoying what they do and loving what they do, it makes you got to get to that next level. So everything you said just really touched the core, and I hope it does with everyone watching right now.
Yeah, and we obviously have some great women behind us. You guys both have lovely wives. My wife is over the top supportive, and without that grounding in those roots, we wouldn't be able to do this. And it's funny, I can't quote this verbatim, but maybe you guys will look it up. In Shawshank Redemption, Morgan Freeman has this narrative where he talks about a couple birds being put into a cage.
I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright.
And how they would die and how they were meant to fly. And while we keep using the term working in a factory, it's just sometimes people are just meant to soar, whatever that means. Yeah. And it takes all types of people to make all of this work. So it's interesting that we all wound up being that one type of person.
Well, and we're going to keep following your journey and talk to you on the reg as you tour with SOJA. And I think that it's really exciting for us because getting the studio launch and talking to you, man, we love hearing your stories and just everything that you do. And we look forward to every time you come out to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to stopping and seeing you guys. We're still out here spreading the love with Yolo Rum. Actually was able to share with Eric Wilson from Sublime. He's a big rum fan, and he's also one of the reasons I ever started in reggae. He is like the epitome of why all of us do this. And he was like, holy shit, can I say that? I'm sorry. He was like, holy shit, that's good rum. And he really enjoys the 10-year rum. And, I gave him a couple bottles, and they thoroughly worked through it. But it's good to see. He's like, oh, man, this is you guys. And I was able to tell him a little bit about it. And beyond it being an amazing rum, it's like when they hear it's us who like kind of built it from the ground up, they're like, whoa, wait, what is this? So it's a really cool journey to be on with you guys.
Right on, man. We're going to have to get you guys restocked when you come back through town.
Yeah. Fueled by rum.
Yeah.
Fueled by rum. Powered by Yolo Rum.
Be safe out there, man. We appreciate you. Check out his song, Eric Swanson, All Right. Proceeds go to benefit cancer research, right?
Absolutely. Actually, we donated to the Relay for Life in my mother's name, but it all goes to the American Cancer Society. So.
Well, we'll be talking to you next week, Eric. Be safe on the roads, and YOLO.
YOLO. Thanks, Eric.
YOLO. Thanks, guys.
Hi, my name's Alec.
And I'm Ashley.
And we're investors in Yolo Rum. We wanted to give a quick shout out to all our fellow Yolo Rum investors.
And a huge thank you to the Yolo Rum team and Phil for giving us this opportunity to be part owners in the best rum in the world.
Heck yeah, cheers to that.
YOLO!
The best rum in the world.